Yo, what's good everyone? I'm gonna make a quick tutorial on how to make Roblox thumbnail renders. So basically in the link in the description, you're gonna want to download every single plugin I have and make sure you download Blender. Once you got all the plugins downloaded, you're gonna want to close out of all the new Roblox Studio tabs that they open and then go over to the new section up here. Just click base plate. Once you click up here, you're gonna want to go down here, click create. It should load you up into a base plate that looks like this. So once you're here, you're going to want to navigate up to the plugins tab, which is above where the toolbox is, and you're going to want to go over and look for load character. Type in any username you want. So in my case, I'm going to do ZinjaRVLX, which is me. Make sure to click spawn at origin and spawn R15 so that you could animate more limbs. Once that's in, close out of here. Just delete spawn plate, and then over here on Explorer, if you do not have Explorer, up here go over to the view tab, and then look, I don't have any Explorer, just click on Explorer up here and properties right here. And if they pop out like this, then there we go. Right here, just click dock. Down here where it says base plate, click on it, then go on home, click on move, and you should see a few arrows. Just drag it down. Just drag it down to where it's under your character's feet. And then let's say I want to add a Bedwars sword. Just look up Bedwars sword. Sure, let's just drag this in. Just click OK. None of this really matters. You're going to want to drag any weapon of your choice. In this case, let's go emerald sword. Drag it into your Roblox character, and then go into the look through your character, look for the sword. In this case, it's right here. Click on here, click on everything. You're gonna want to go down here and then look for anchored, select it, then deselect it, just to make sure that it's not anchored, because if it is, it's gonna cause some problems later down the line. So then just delete everything else you're not gonna use. Then your character should have a sword in hand. So what you're going to want to do next is head over to plugins, Moon Animator. It should open up this. Make sure you have this downloaded. Click file, new animation, title it whatever you want. I'm going to just name it Anim. You don't have to name it Anim. Title really doesn't affect anything. Next, you're going to want to click the plus right here. Click on your avatar, or you could also click on it right here. Make sure rig is checked. If it's not checked, none of this is going to work. You can check C-frame if you want, but it's not going to really do anything. Alright, once you're on here, you're going to want to click on any limb you want to animate. You could either do it through here, or you can do it through here. In order to switch from rotation mode to movement mode, you click R on your keyboard. Control Z to undo any changes. And then basically now you're just going to want to pose it. So, oh yeah, one thing I forgot to mention, if you want to change the size of the actual window itself, bottom right corner, to change its size. Or just size it however you want. And then pose this however you want. One thing I recommend doing is moving as many joints as possible when posing. And then looking around WASD. In order to make more precise movements, hold down shift and your camera will not move around as fast. Also, another thing I forgot to mention, if you want to move your character, select down here the lower torso and then R to move it around, or rotate it, and it rotates your entire character. Upper body just rotates upper body, you know, it's pretty simple. And I think that looks good. So what you're going to want to do once you're happy with your pose is you're going to want to click right here on your avatar. Make sure it's selecting everything. Do not close out of Moon Animator. This part's really important. Keep Moon Animator open. If you close it, you will lose your animation. So click right here. I mean your pose, not your animation. Click right here. Right click, export selection. I'm gonna add it to my downloads, so I'm gonna call it let's see, it's a Ninja Render 1 2 3. Just hit save, and then it should save your animation. So what you're gonna want to do next is hop on over to Blender. Once you're in Blender, it should look something like this. Just hit general right under new file. On the cube, select it, and then just hit del on your keyboard, or alternatively right click and hit delete. What you're gonna want to do next, how was up with this? Click file, hover over import, go down over to wavefront.obj legacy, click it, and then look through your computer for your render. Mine's right here. So as you notice, it has no textures, but bear with me, you just kind of gotta hover your mouse up here. And another thing you might have noticed is, oh no, it's inside out. There we go. Alright, go over to properties, opaque, there we go. I figured out the issue. Make sure to render it without tools, and then once your character is rendered in, you're going to want to go over to here, switch blend mode over to opaque, because it's going to be on alpha blend and look like this. Just switch this over to opaque, and then once you're done with that, just reposition your tool, delete your Roblox avatar, and then just render out your tool. But it's important you position your tool in Roblox Studio. So M sword, save, go back over to Blender, file, import sword, and it should be right there. So what you're gonna want to do next is click on your sword, go over to right here, scroll all the way down to blend mode again, and just switch that to opaque, and it should look fine. So now you're gonna notice that the shading's all off. So first thing you're gonna want to do is go over to the thing right under the wrench, look for film, drop it down, and then hit transparent. Then you're gonna want to go over to this light and just hit del on your keyboard, and you'll notice that there's no light at all. And then there should be a camera button right here and a camera and viewport. If not, then click over here, click on add. Make sure you're in object mode, by the way. Click on add, look over for your camera option, and then the camera should be right there. Next, you're gonna want to hit this camera button, and then shift and that weird button under escape. And then you'll notice that you can move around like in Roblox Studio. One thing I forgot to mention is that in Blender, moving around, you have to use your scroll wheel and then hold down middle mouse while moving your mouse around. If you want to move like in Studio, again, it's shift and that button underneath escape. And then numpad 0 if you have a numpad to go straight into your camera view. I do not have a numpad. Once it's positioned, you're going to want to go over to output properties, which is right underneath, which is 2 underneath the wrench. And then you're going to want to set your resolution to 2000 by 2000, and just reposition it. Scrolling forwards makes the camera move faster, scrolling backwards does the opposite, makes it move slower. Just use that so that you could get more precise posing. Then E and Q, E to go up, Q to go down. WASD to move around. And once it's positioned, you're gonna want to click on this, click on add, light, sun, hit this arrow key, and then just move it up. You'll notice that there's whenever sun is selected, there's a light bulb down here. You're gonna wanna click that, strength, and I like to set mine to like what, 50, not too low, too high, 25. Sure, let's do 25. Next you're gonna want to click add light, and then you're gonna want to do a spot right here. You're gonna want to rotate it. Make sure it's rotated along behind wherever your avatar is, and then so moving it backwards, careful not to select this arrow. Make sure you select the green one to move it backwards. However, if you like shortcuts, it's just G to move it around, and hit X to snap it along the X axis, Y to snap it along the Y axis, and Z to snap it along the Z axis. And just move it to where it's like slightly in front of your character. And then over here on lighting, change its power to something like 1,000, maybe 2,000. There. And then next you're gonna want to add another light. This time you're gonna want to add a point light. Move it slightly in front of your character, over to like its right shoulder. You're gonna want to change the power to 1,000. Then you'll notice it illuminates a lot of your character. Just move it slightly up a little more to like right above its right shoulder. Click down Shift, then D. Then you'll notice that you'll have a light following your cursor. Just hit right click to snap it back to where it was. Then with the arrow key, move it over to the right. Move it back a little bit so that it's not unevenly lighting everything. And then your character should mostly be fully lit up. If you want some extra lighting, just hit Shift D, right click, move it to like, move one to the middle, and then duplicate again and just move one to the bottom of your avatar. And then hit your camera button and it should look something like this. Once you're happy with the lighting, again you could continue experimenting. But once you're done with the lighting, you're gonna want to hit render, then just hit image, and then scroll out to see your full render. You should see something like this. Click on image, click on save, go over to your downloads, and then just name it whatever you want. I'm gonna just name it render.png. Once your avatar is fully rendered and everything, you're gonna want to head on over to Chrome, go over to photopea.com, and then go over to the Google Drive I sent you, and it's linked in the I didn't send you. Go over to the Google Drive link in the description, and you should see something like this. Play around with it. I have a bunch of things here for you to mess around with your thumbnails. For basics of Photopea, check link in the description. But yeah, anyways, this is all irrelevant. Just hit file, open and place, go over to downloads, look for your render, and then drag the render over to the renders folder. Just click the eye to unhide it. And there's already a shadow there for you. If you want to mess around with the shadow, just click on behind render scenery and then hit shift while you size it, and then just drag it around. Make sure to click on this mouse button and transform control so that you could resize it. But once it's all sized to your liking, make sure to disable auto select to stop from auto selecting, by the way. Just select your stuff through the layers. Anyways, once you got it positioned to your liking, double click over on this white spot area, and what I like to do is add a stroke of black. So just click on down here to change the color of your stroke. I just drag it all the way down here, and then change the size. I like to go to where it's like slightly an outline, something like this. And then to add a secondary stroke, you just click this plus button. You have to select the stroke, and then let's change this one to white. Size this one up a little bit, and this is what I like to do with my strokes. You can always do something different. This is all up to preference. And then let's say I wanted this to be for a live stream. Over where it says elements. As you see, there's Roblox text. Let's say I don't like this Roblox text and I want another one, just click on Roblox 2. Or you could always Photoshop your own Roblox text if you know how to. And then there's a few live ones right here. There's this one. There's this one. And then there's this one. And then there's a new, if you have something new you want to show off. There's some other text up here. And then if you just want to Photoshop your own text, there's an empty one. And then let's say I have a circle, you could just use that. But I'm happy with this. So what you're going to want to do is hit File, Export As, and then PNG. Make sure to do PNG because this one has the highest quality. And then over to name, change it to the title of your video. So let's just name this example thumbnail. You can name this whatever you want. And just make sure quality is over at 100%, 1920 by 1080, format PNG, and then just hit save and it should download down here. And I have an ad blocker, but you know, none of that matters. If you have any questions, drop a comment or DM me on Discord's on Ninja number 2523, or join the Discord server link in the description, and I'll see you next time.